All right, this is going to be very interactive. This is going to be a workshop, so there's going to be give and take, and I'm going to walk around a whole bunch and probably knock things over accidentally. Good morning, my name is David T. Stevens. I'm with Olympian Meetings. My co-founder is here, Ariadne Pereira. She's going to help facilitate the workshop a little bit and make sure everyone stays engaged. So, wellness. Anybody sick of that term yet? We're going to come back to that. I want to give a little background. So we got started on this, we'll say journey, because we all like to say wellness journey, because we were talking about why do conferences suck so bad? That book I held up yesterday, I was like, wow, that really resonates with me. That's why I picked the word sucky out of the whole thing. Because you go to a conference and you come back and you feel like crap. Your email's a mess, you're 5 pounds up, you got no sleep, you ate junk, the list just goes on, and we're like, well, why does it have to be that way? And I was like, well, when I worked at 24 Hour Fitness, not as a trainer, I get that question usually, and I'm not trying to pat my ego, but people just think, oh, well, that must have been, no. I worked at corporate, I worked at their HQ, I planned their incentives, their internal meetings, etc. So yes, I'm one of some of you, and for the rest of you, I worked with you. And I always felt amazing after our meetings because we did things differently. We very much lived the brand. And so we started talking about, well, why doesn't everyone meet like that? I don't know, let's go teach them. So that's kind of how this whole thing started. So, of course, now, really? There we go. Okay, so we came up with this term, Olympian meeting. And I like to tell this story because it's a very happy accident, but when you think of the term Olympian, what comes to mind? Just yell it out. Athlete. Peak. Strong. Champion. Intensity. Fitness. Metrics. High tension situations, right? That kind of thing. And we're like, well, and that kind of was what we first started with, was like fit meetings. Let's make people fitter at meetings. And then the pandemic happened, and we also realized that there was another side to that. Well, actually, I had a bit of a realization, because it was April, May, and I was trim and I was tan because I wasn't traveling, I wasn't eating plain food and things of that nature, but I was miserable. And Ari says to me, she's like, well, what are you doing about your mental health? And I was like, I don't need your crystal nonsense. She goes, well, you might want to try meditating. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. Because I'm the Olympian side of things, if you will. And then they gave us Headspace at work for free to use. And we discovered the other half of this. Oh, it takes a second. Which, just like I said, is kind of a happy accident. And what we realize is that this clicker's a little happy. Everyone falls somewhere in between. And this whole thing is wellness, because you fall in different places on it. So we went out and I started applying this to my internal meetings, and we saw the results, and we saw what happened. In 22, when we first came back, we did a number of the things we're going to talk about today, and we saw our Net Promoter Score go from a 8.2 to a 9.4 on a scale of 1 to 10. I figured not a scale of 1 to 100. Scale of 1 to 10, 8.2 to 9.4, with 85% of 450 some odd people participating. Those are big numbers. We got the survey replies that had nothing to do with wellness other than people being happy about being there, because we withheld all the pictures until they filled out the survey. So that's a free hack that you're welcome to use. It's kind of like in medical meetings, they withhold the CMEs until you do the survey. So that being said, that's who we are. Wellness. This term provokes emotions in everyone. Any guesses as to how would you define wellness? Let's hear some things from the crowd.
Taking care of yourself.
Taking care of yourself. integrated approach to your best way of living. She was shooting for like the textbook definition.
Overall health.
Overall health. Well, I found it interesting what Merriam-Webster's dictionary defined it as I'm just going to read it, the quality or state of being in good health. Here's the part I like. Especially as an actively sought goal. So it means that, like it or not, you're never done. It's a constant, and that's why they call it a wellness journey, right? Because you keep working through it. So I like to call this out just real quickly so that we all level set on what wellness is. And by the way, if you take the survey at the end, you'll get the slides so you won't have to take pictures. Okay, so why does it matter, right? We're all trying to get more out of our meetings with less money, and survey results are in for 24 and prices went up again. And the predictions for 25 is prices are still going up. So if money's going out the door more than it used to be, we have to drive some kind of result, right? For the planners in the room at least, like that's our end goal. We're being looked at by metrics and survey scores. If you work in an organization that isn't measuring you on your data, congratulations. But that's very few people nowadays, especially if you're in tech. So this is why it matters to us. The second point here is we have to keep increasing our ROI. They want to see more from it. And it doesn't matter if it's field marketing or internal meetings or trade shows or whatever. People are always looking for better returns on the investments of the events, especially as they're getting more expensive. So there's also been this huge increase in attendee interest. People want it. It is I just read a report that we're going to reference. The global wellness industry is creeping up on $5.6 trillion. Do you know what the business travel is at? Like 1.6. And the CEO of Cvent said the live events world is at 1.8. So global wellness is outpacing events, which is a really interesting thing to put the juxtaposition, because guess what? We all have people at our events, and there is a demand for it. Okay, you can use your phone now, I'll allow it. This is, we do a little newsletter on LinkedIn called What's Up with Wellness, where we talk about trends and stuff like that. I figure I'd give you the opportunity to check it out, but we're gonna go back to that question. Who's sick about hearing about wellness? Nobody in this? Oh, I saw you. Okay, all right. One person was like, I am. You're not alone. You are far from alone. It's becoming a big thing because you're hearing about it everywhere, right? Like everyone's hearing about wellness all the time. Speaking of that Lululemon report, I never thought I would see these words ever. Well-being is burning us out. Did you think wellness and burnout would be next to each other in a sentence? No, wellness is supposed to be the exact opposite of burnout. But here's some things. 45% are experiencing well-being burnout. What has happened? 2 in 3 are feeling pressure from others to support their well-being in a specific way. Oh, now it's starting to make sense now. This tells the story a little further. 61% feel that they have unrealistic societal expectations of what they're supposed to be doing for wellness. 53% get conflicting information on what wellness is. And this is why this matters to every single person in this room. 89% feel like they're going at it alone. We plan meetings. We bring people together. Everyone in this room can take that number down. That's powerful stuff. We bring people together and change people's lives, right? When we meet, we change the world. Didn't like GMID or PCMA or the other TLAs come up with? TLA means 3-letter acronym. Somebody came up with that, and it's a great slogan. When we meet, we change the world. We can make people feel less alone. The US Surgeon General declared a crisis of loneliness in this country. We have a huge opportunity or responsibility, depending on how you look at it. Now, digging into this a little more, whoops, I gave it away. I love that it's when we release the pressure to be well and focus on our own journey, we can break the cycle and feel less stuck. What does this all mean? Wellness means different things to different people. And what's happening, and there was a McKinsey report last year that really called this out. I'm waiting for their report this year, it hasn't been released yet, is the happy place is attendee agency. Letting people choose what works for them. We were talking to someone the other day, and we were talking about at the break, you can have carrot sticks next to Cheetos. They're both orange, crunchy sticks. But people get to make the choice. We have a client who's a mental health services company. They provide mental health services for large corporate programs. And we had like Greek yogurt and granola separated in case someone was lactose tolerant or whatever, next to Lucky Charms. And the head of the department was like, oh my God, I haven't had Lucky Charms in so long. And she had Lucky Charms, and she runs this team of customer success people at a wellness company. It's not about either or, it's about yes and. And that's the problem is, and it's a little ironic because I'm going to play some reels today to keep things interesting, but there's all this conflicting information on the internet, and it just goes to show how crazy the internet is, about people gaslighting people over their products versus the practice. So you're going to hear it here first. We are not going to talk about any products. We're going to talk about practice. We're the product that we're pitching, not a protein powder of any kind. Or a supplement or anything else. So let's jump into it. We're going to talk about the 4 M's. And I think I skipped my agenda slide, so I apologize. We're just going to keep rolling. So you'll see these little symbols here. You're going to see them keep popping up. We're going to break things down into 4 M's. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a little workshop around each of them. And we're going to jump into the first one, which is mindfulness. Apparently I clicked that without realizing I was doing it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have table discussions. We might have one of you guys, or people, I should say, join this team over here because they're a little thin. They only have 3 people. And you guys, everybody stacked up over there. All right, so here's some thought-provoking questions. Can your attendee learn if they're worried about other things? I want to take a step back and say what we mean when we mean mindfulness. What comes to mind when you hear mindfulness? Just yell it out.
Being present.
Being present. Awareness. Empathy. Attention. What did you say? Intention. Okay. How about what you're expecting of your attendees and what your attendees' experience is? What are they experiencing? Are you mindful of your attendees' journey during the event? How long are the sessions? How short are the sessions? How often are the breaks? What time do they get to go to bed? What time are you asking them to get up? Sometimes we lose sight of that, especially when there's a jam-packed agenda. No, I don't want, if your marketing says jam-packed agenda, I'm out. Not interested. Jam-packed agenda means I have no time to process, I have no time to network, because I'm constantly going to be doing things. So when we talk about mindfulness, I want you to also think about that. Usually people think meditation, that kind of stuff. That's the first thing that comes to mind. But we're planners. We got to think about our attendees and be mindful of their experience. So that's, if you start at 7 a.m. and you go till midnight, when the hell are they supposed to do their email? It just blows up for 3 days continually, right? How are you helping your attendees focus and have a calm mind? Do you have enough breaks? Are your sessions just hour after hour of executive parading their mindless thoughts and dribble on stage? Or can you have a conversation with your executives to go wrap it up? Either I'm funny or this is really resonating, one or the other. Yes, and. Did you talk for an hour on opening night? Oh, okay, all right.
I limit to 20 minutes.
Perfect, okay. The last thing here is, does the environment therein provoke calm or invoke anxiety? No disrespect to our AV production partner, and I'm not going to bash him, but sometimes all the production can be a little much. So you can use that production to actually, you can change the colors in the room to use light therapy and do things like that. Crap, I'm giving away ideas. Okay, I'm not going to say any more on ideas, but I'm also going to play you this reel on meditation.
We've done studies with novice meditators. We were curious to see what kind of biological changes would take place in 1 week if you went all in. We draw blood, and we look at about 2,882 metabolites. And at the end of 7 days, the novice meditators, almost 100% of them, show substantial biological changes in their blood that suggest that they're living in a different environment. Now, here's the weird part about it. They're actually making those changes inwardly. And I say to our research team, where are those chemicals coming from? Where are they coming from? The person's not taking any substance. It's coming from within us. And so the nervous system starts manufacturing a whole pharmacy of chemicals equal to the person's intention and emotional state.
I know, the music is all dramatic and it's that spooky TikTok music, I get it. But it's an interesting thought process, right? And how powerful the mind is. So, we're gonna take 5 minutes here, and I want the tables to discuss how you can be more mindful towards your attendees and what kinds of things you could do for them. And at the end of 5 minutes, we're gonna go around the tables real quick, and we're only gonna do your best idea because otherwise we're gonna be in here for 2 hours. So just your top idea, and if anyone from this table wants to join over here, all right, he doesn't like you very much, that's understood.
I thought Daryl was there. So.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. He left, so you're out. All right, and we will count down starting now. All right, what was your favorite, not best, favorite idea for attendee mindfulness?
This idea came from our dear friend Michaela. This is something she has done in her events. They had a 2-hour free time gap, and they made it super purposeful.
Okay.
Where they called it Cool, Calm, and Connected.
Cool, calm, and connected.
And had like massage chairs and smoothies and networking tables, and it was an optional.
Was there really loud music at the networking area?
No.
No? Oh, okay, good. That's always helpful.
Yeah, so it was like purposeful free time that people could come and enjoy that relaxation if they wanted to, or...
What time of day did you do it at?
That was like between 2 and 4 p.m.
Between 2 and 4. Right smack dab in the middle of clinical term postprandial dip. That is a circadian rhythm thing that happens, the afternoon slump as we all know it. If you ever need to sign a contract, have some coffee, schedule your meeting for then, you'll get whatever you want. Okay, great idea. We'll go back here. Your favorite idea, I love it.
We spoke a lot about choice and how choice can lead to connections. Our favorite idea was instead of doing the survey, post-event survey with your groups, whatever type of conference and event it might be, afterwards, do them right then and there before your group departs. So
I love that idea, so much so I have a QR code on my last slide. Great, absolutely love it. Capture that feedback in borderline real time. Love it. All right, in the back corner.
So we were thinking, because we do have a lot of new people here this year, that it's very purposeful to make sure your people feel welcomed.
Yes.
In a networking event or an icebreaker or something like that, because what happens is, once you start going into these sessions, and there's a lot of us that have been in this industry a long time, we all know each other, it's human nature, you become very cliquey with the people that you know.
Not intentionally, it just kind of happens. You fall into familiarity.
Yeah, and it's human nature, right?
Right?
And it's really scary for people that have not been here and that are not included, that they tend to retreat you know, and maybe not show up for some sessions or things like that, because they haven't been felt welcome. So-
Okay, so inclusion and making people feel welcome, that's a novel concept. I love it. Right, exactly. Okay, but doing it with intention and creating some real structure around it so that people actually feel welcomed and a part of the conversation. I love that. All right, and up front, who is going to be our person? Oh,
So, we really didn't come up with a lot of solutions. We really kind of all shared the headwinds that,
okay.
kind of post-COVID, what we're seeing is that meeting duration has lessened, right? You're trying to do less with more.
Right.
Because on the bumpers, people want to have work-life balance. They want to have people not traveling as far from their homes. So we're talking about the kind of the challenges with this new environment of a 3-day meeting is still 2 days, is now 2 days, but they want to get 3 days of content in, and how to balance that to leadership, say, but we also need to infuse wellness, and that type is really a challenge.
Okay, so the challenge of 3 days worth of content being presented in 2 days. All right, well, I have a study for you that you can reference to share with your executive who thinks he needs 90 minutes. There's this little agency called the TSA. Has anybody heard of it? Yes? Okay, all right, cool. So if you haven't heard it, no, I'm just kidding. Let me mansplain, that'll go over well. So they did a study because they actually rotate positions every certain amount of time. Any guesses as to what that window of time is that they make them rotate so that they don't check out? Hour, 45 minutes? 20 minutes? 30? It's 15 to 30. 15. Yeah, okay, good times. Ideal time is every 15 minutes. People lose focus after 15 minutes. The irony of this session being 45 is not lost on me. But you'll notice that's why we changed it up, right? We went into group discussion. So you can do that if it's a well-constructed event, so it can go longer, but when your executive is asking for that much time, run. I'm glad this is getting interactive. You can share that study and say, hey, just so you know, what part of that 90 minutes don't you want people to remember? See how that goes over. Okay, here's just some ideas. You can offer meditation alongside other activities in the morning. We did it after our workouts so that people that did workouts could do both. You can create an agenda that gives people's brains actually the ability time to breathe. You can also add greenery and or natural light to your meeting spaces. People actually stay more alert when they are in nature because our monkey brains are like, oh crap, is something gonna come out of the bushes and get me? And you can do that with projection mapping. I've seen it done. It's really cool. Like you feel like you're meeting in the forest and that kind of thing. Or you can extend or multiply your breaks so that they're more often and whatnot. So there's a little bit about it. Okay, now we're gonna jump into our second M, which is movement. And we're gonna get into this. We're gonna do that exercise again. So a single bout of aerobic exercise can significantly facilitate learning mechanisms for up to 30 minutes. And that's a short bout. We're gonna talk some things. Exercise has shown to increase your hippocampus. And I'm actually gonna dig into how that works scientifically. And the last thing here is offering attendees the opportunity to move, they will learn more. And here's why. When you get your body, some of you who are in the boot camps heard this, or the shadow boxing this morning, when you get your heart rate up to above 70% of your max heart rate, it turns on your body's sympathetic nervous system, otherwise known as fight or flight. We all know that, right? Your adrenal glands start going, et cetera, et cetera. What happens in your brain, though, is your hippocampus turns on, which is the learning center of your brain, and your brain starts producing this chemical that's called brain-derived neurotropic factor. It's literally trying to figure out what's happening and am I going to die or not? Do I need to remember this scenario And you know you're in a controlled situation, but your body responds to physical stress. It doesn't know the difference, it's just the physical strain. So it triggers the things to go, oh, I need to prepare for this. I need to remember this. I need to pay attention. I need to be alert, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And what's fun about this, it also kind of ties back to mindfulness, because if you're, as the Navy SEALs call it, if you're in the suck of a workout, that like point where you're like, oh my God, why am I doing this? This is miserable, I hate this. I don't know that I can keep going. Are you thinking about anything else? No, you are 100% present. So to some people, that's a form of meditation and mindfulness, because you've actually decided to be present because you don't have a choice. But what happens with your brain is all those chemicals linger for hours afterwards. And there was a study out of Indiana with high school kids that they made PE mandatory. They made them wear heart rates. All their test scores went up because they were actually learning more. So something that I told everyone yesterday morning, and I'll say it kind of jokingly here, is everyone who went to that workout was going to be smarter than anybody who didn't come to that workout yesterday. Because your brain is armed to learn. We pine over our content for hours. Why not stack the deck so that people learn more? Okay, going back to that thing about loneliness, when community and movement come together, we have the opportunity to increase our holistic well-being. We're going to keep coming back to that because everybody who went to that workout on the first day, did you realize that was structured networking? It was. It was actually structured sweat working. Some more interesting things here. 14% felt their well-being increased when they participated in team sports. So one of the things that was really nice about yesterday was we did battle ropes, but we had to do them together. People have an increase in wellness of 21%. Look, that other slide said everything's down, right? All these people are feeling, well, this is how we fix it. Groups. When people feel a sense of belonging, y'all, anybody ever heard of IMEX? Belonging comes up a lot there, right? Storycraft Labs. This is huge. Feeling like they belong increases wellness by 21%. 18% when people spend time with each other outdoors, like in the rainforest, maybe? I think there's one down the street. Some of you went yesterday. 15% when people take a group fitness class. So you can increase people's wellness by 15% by offering those classes in the morning. I guess that's it. Should we just wrap it up? I don't know. Okay. This is just a reminder that movement is wildly impactful. Don't underestimate it. Like I said, I'm not going to read this eye chart to you, but movement is one of the core things here. And now I'm going to play you a silly reel, and then we're going to go into our brainstorming activity.
I'm interested in all psychology, all neuroscience.
More dramatic music.
I think the most interesting finding of the last decade in all of science. And this is the insight that your muscles are basically an endocrine organ that secrete hormones into your bloodstream that affect every system of your body. Your muscles, they secrete chemicals and proteins when you exercise, and they're also really good for your brain health. And one of the first papers, almost 10 years ago, that was published explaining that when you contract your muscles, they literally secrete these proteins into your bloodstream that make you resilient to stress and can protect you from depression. The scientists called them hope molecules. This idea that literally your muscles are manufacturing like antidepressant molecules. And the only way to get them into your bloodstream, where they can then travel to your brain, is you have to contract your muscles. Like, that's it. It's like a pharmacy in your muscles. And anything you do that contracts them, walking, hiking, running, dancing, weightlifting, like swimming, anything, you are going to be dumping hope molecules into your bloodstream that when they get to your brain, they work as an antidepressant, and they also help people recover from trauma. Like that's like a miracle. Because of course it's wonderful when medications work for you, but for so many people, medications don't work or they don't do the full job in terms of helping with mental health. And the idea that your muscles could provide you with the equivalent of something like an antidepressant medication, that is, I think, it's phenomenal.
More dramatic music, I know, but it's TikTok, so what do you expect? All right, that might have been Instagram, whatever. But this is actually factual. There's a book called Spark, written by a psychologist, right? Those are the MDs that can prescribe medications, and he worked with a number of clients that actually, he started them on antidepressants and movement. And over time, he was able to take them off of their antidepressants because the movement had done what it needed to do. So we are gonna jump into a quick brainstorm, maybe not, we're gonna go with 3 minutes this time. It's gonna be a speed round. Challenge you. Let's come up with some movement ideas for attendees. There's been plenty here, but I'm sure there's some that we haven't thought of. Maybe you've done them. So on the count of 3, 2, 1, go. I heard something, I'm very excited to hear what they came up with. We're gonna go the opposite direction, and this time you're just gonna yell it out. All right, we're gonna start over here. What was your favorite idea you came up with? You can just yell it out, it's fine.
We talked about sourcing or not being afraid to source larger properties.
Okay.
Especially ones with like open canopies or things where there's exposure to outdoors, and then having frequent shorter sessions so that there's a lot of opportunities for movement.
Okay, so getting a bigger property than you quote need, right? That gives you options to have multiple sessions in different places with shorter sessions, and people can walk between the sessions. And natural light. Yeah, natural light in ballrooms is huge. Shout out to Margaritaville Lake Conroe. They have a ballroom that an entire wall is all glass and looks out at the lake. It's fantastic. Okay, in the back? Yep, here we go. Favorite idea?
A scavenger hunt.
Scavenger hunt, tell me more.
So you break out into teams and you do a scavenger hunt throughout the hotel just for different things, because some people don't want to do the weights, some people don't want to do shadow boxing and things like that, but it gets people moving and it gets more of a teamwork going.
Love it. So a scavenger hunt within the hotel that appeals to everyone. Okay, love it, absolutely. Back here?
We love your scavenger hunt idea.
Oh, I think they're gonna build on it.
But, yeah, exactly.
Yes, no buts, yes and.
It's all right, Mel, we're not gonna beat you.
Body stretching was our idea.
Nice.
Doing stretching with people in your little group, something that everybody can do. It connects you with your group as well.
Physical connection and stretching. I like how this comes together. We actually were talking about how we had wished there was a stretching option as one of the things during the thing. Okay, cool, love it. And I like the fact that it's interactive with another person, because then you're really actually making that physical connection. All right, up front.
We have two.
Only one, you gotta pick one. Yeah, you gotta pick one.
Coming up was just creating more opportunities for simple acts of movement in the middle of a session to just have everyone stand up and sit, because you're sitting all through these. So
Yeah.
even if you're still going on with your chat, to just stand up and listen 5 minutes.
It's like you're a plant. Everybody stand up. Kidding, not kidding. Stand up, okay. We're gonna do this little shakeout exercise that if you've ever been in theater, you probably know it. It's gonna feel like the hokey pokey. We're gonna start with our right arm, and we're gonna shake and count down out loud from 5. You don't have to do it yet, but it's fun that everyone already automatically does it. We're gonna do one arm, then we do the other arm, then we do the other leg, then we do the other leg, and then we count down and we do it from 4, and then we do it from 3. But please count out loud audibly with me. So, okay, pick your first arm, shake, and count down from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other arm. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I like you threw in a leg and an arm. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 2, 1. 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, that's it. All right. So, various intensities for workouts is huge. Today we did shadow boxing. It was almost all dudes. And only one of them was there yesterday for the bodyweight boot camp. It appealed to a different group of people, but they still came and they were raving about it. They were so excited to be there. So, appealing to different people's intensity levels totally counts.
Can I just add one thing with appealing to different people? Is also with their timing. So
Also with timing.
not everyone wants to do something at 7 a.m. like me, but I would love to work out or do like an afternoon yoga session
That goes back to agenda design. So yes, I agree.
But
Yes, I agree. So timing, offering multiple times during the day to do those things. Create flexible seating options. This was pretty good. You should always have standing tables at the back of the ballroom. No excuses. They're free every time. There's always somebody who stands, always a standing table at the back of the room, a few of them. It makes people feel seen. Because there's someone who has back pain or just doesn't want to sit or whatever, you don't have to, and then when you go to the back room, you're like, oh my God, they have a table for me. Team scavenger hunt, but you can even take it outside. See the destination. I experienced this at a Smart Meetings event in Louisville, and we got to go to the Slugger Museum and all kinds of stuff, and it was an afternoon activity to break up the day. Step challenges. They're getting better, by the way. They're no longer just step challenges. They're like challenging mindfulness and that kind of stuff. Okay, we're running behind here, so I need to speed up, and I apologize for taking so much of your time. It's time for another silly reel, everybody.
5 small meals per day and run. Also, only eat breakfast and dinner and walk. Also, eat lots of protein and lift, and actually don't do any cardio, it's bad for your joints. Also, don't eat too much protein and make sure you're sleeping a lot, but don't be sedentary. But don't be too active, it's bad for your blood pressure. Make sure you replace all your lost salt, but never eat too much sodium. It's easy, just eat vegetables. But don't eat potatoes or corn. Fruit is obviously good for you, and also it's all sugar and it's bad for you. Sugar, I forgot to mention, is a vital source of quick burning carbohydrates that your brain needs to survive, and you should avoid it at all costs. Protein is hurting your kidneys, make sure you eat a lot of it. Drink water, never starve yourself. Unless you're calling it intermittent fasting, then it's okay to starve yourself. Don't overhydrate. Being vegan is obviously the healthiest lifestyle, and also no it's not. Fish is obviously super good for you, and it's full of mercury and killing you. Simple, right?
Is that how everyone feels? Yeah. That's how it is. That's what it feels like on the internet. That's why people feel so damn conflicted. That's everyone's TikTok, Instagram, whatever feed, and they're like, oh, this expert says this one says that, ba, 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 ba. Look for people with credentials. And even then you have to be wary. Practice over product. Just because it says MD doesn't mean, if they're trying to sell you a product, especially if it's their product that they've made, look out. And I'm married to an MD, so she doesn't ever push product. She pushes practice. And I co-presented with an MD a while ago, and I was like, this is awesome. We have another MD in the wellness club, and then like every other post was her pushing supplements, and I'm like, unsubscribe. I'm out. It's not that hard. It's very simple stuff, but that's why people are feeling burnt out on wellness. Okay, 9 brain foods. We're going to show them to you. Hot second. And then it's going to be gone. Food is fuel. Think about this. Once again, this is not about yes and, or this is not about either or, this is about yes and. And this last thing, this is a growing thing. 38% of the adult population doesn't drink alcohol anymore. What? 38%. Ask yourself this. If you had 38% more budget, wouldn't that be significant? That's how big of a number this is. I'm going to play you this reel because it.
Just because you're not drinking alcohol doesn't mean you deserve a lesser experience. I want to make sure we got that out there. Just say that one more time. Just because you're not drinking alcohol doesn't mean you deserve a lesser experience. So I would write that down. You think about people that you're going to host events or put things together for, and that's the level of elevated premium offering. I felt like I was a part of it, and having something in my hand, to everybody's point, is a big component. And when you elevate that, I felt like I was back at this kind of amazing high-end cocktail bar, and I realized that obviously I'm not drinking, but it was such an amazing experience. And I think the experience of it, you can still have a really good time with an elevated drink, and you forget the weight.
So I'll leave you with that when it comes to non-alcoholic beverages. Yes and, not either or. Sparkling water, soda, and juice is not enough anymore. Almost half your group doesn't drink alcohol. Maybe. It depends on who your group is. Like, know your audience, of course. But you should at least offer something. We were going to do a brainstorming session, but somehow the wheels came off, and we're running behind. So I'm going to give you this. We talked about the Cheetos and the carrot sticks, but I'm going to give you your 8 or 9 brain foods, maybe. There we go. None of this is rocket science. We all know it. Deconstruct things. We already have to pay attention to allergens, right? So deconstruction's the best thing ever. For anybody who went to the sit-down lunch yesterday who didn't do the grab and go, it was awesome.
Yeah.
That Margaritaville also did a build your own poke bar, like table.
It's so popular right now.
Oh, because it's amazing.
Yeah.
You know what people were saying the next day at breakfast? Will we get to have that lunch again?
Yeah.
Isn't that how you want your food and beverage to make people feel? Right? Leave them talking about it. That's the whole point of all of this. We're trying to leave a mark on people. Okay, our last thing, and I don't want to undermine it because we're talking about this at lunch, is meaning. And that simply means connecting people to something bigger than themselves. That can be a team, that can be the community, that can be the land. It doesn't matter, but you can help them connect with something bigger than themselves. So people that give back are actually shown to live longer. So depending on your perspective of your life, maybe you're into this, maybe you're not. And there's even something called a helper's high, if anybody's ever heard of that. You raised your hand, so I want to.
I have a question. I work 10 hours a day at a computer. I take an hour for my time to go do cardio. I try to shut out the emails, but I put my phone right in front of me while I'm doing my exercise, and I feel like that's so bad. But I mean, I guess you just recommend completely shutting off the phone, putting it away for the hour. I mean, you still have to be accountable. You know what I mean? It's hard.
Yeah, I think. Is there another time in the day where you are shutting it off?
I guess that would have to be super early or after work hours, but I tend to do it during the day. But everybody else is doing it in the gym too. Everybody's like trying to balance it, and it defeats the purpose of wellness, I think.
So I'm gonna say, I don't think you getting on the treadmill for an hour defeats the purpose of anything. You are still doing great things physiologically for yourself. So don't undermine the benefit of the fact if you're checked into that specifically or not. And I saw you want to chime in here, so we're going to let you. But don't discount yourself, and don't discredit you making the effort to take care of yourself physically, because that is also going to make you sharper mentally. But I think there's something to be said for finding some time, because maybe it's at the end of the 10 hours that you shut off for a half hour and you disconnect from everything and connect with your family and your friends, and that's just when your time is.
Yeah, I just feel like emails, and it makes it so easy with this, and it's just, I guess you're right, just cutting it out. Yeah.
What were you going to say?
Boundaries.
Well, that too.
I've had to learn them in the past year because I get it. It's hard, especially with your phone and in the meetings world. You're expected to work on all these time zones and these hours.
Yeah.
The healthiest thing I've done is deleted the notifications for my work email, because my time in the gym is my time, and I don't care if it's 10 a.m. on my work from home days. I don't care if it's 5 a.m. on my work in the office days, but no one's going to disrupt it, or else my mental health is, for lack of a better term, fucked. And I've had enough mental breakdowns and panic attacks in this job because of the hours and lack of sleep that it's not worth it anymore. And I'm sure we've all been there, but boundaries have been the biggest thing. And I had to be told that from a coworker. I didn't learn it. A coworker saw me struggling, and she was like, "You've got to stop."
Boundaries are massive, and probably one of the things we're the worst at. I don't know if it's the what we've inherited from the hotel and hospitality world of always being available to take care of your guests, right? And it's just kind of leaked its way into the planning side of things. But I think, and I see the color of your lanyard, so I'm going to be cautious here. But I think if you talk to whoever your boss is and go, look, and you block your calendar, you start blocking your calendar for your gym time, and instead, because disconnecting from your phone is going to be a struggle, but you put your phone on D&D and you watch a show that brings you joy while you're on the treadmill, that's a step in the right direction, because it's helping you disconnect and reset.
I'm the boss. I'm feeling accountable to my clients, and I'm from New York, and I'm so used to doing everything now.
It's okay. They can wait an hour. They can wait a damn hour. It's not that, like, if you're on site, that's one thing.
I know, and
but
lunch, or just wait an hour.
I'll speak from as a client, and this is my opinion, and any planner in here is welcome to fight me on it. I mean physically. I did shadow boxing this morning. I'm ready. If I don't hear back from you within the hour, it's fine. It's really okay. Anybody want to throw fisticuffs? No, see, the whole room agrees. How many planners are in here?
Did you hear that, friend?
Did you?
So if I don't answer you within an hour.
Yeah. Is she your client?
One of my clients.
Do you expect him to answer within the hour?
No, because I don't do it anymore either.
Good. There you go. Okay. Case solved. Yeah. Okay. So wrapping it up, it's wellness is your thing. It's what it means to you, not what anybody on the internet says wellness is. As I stand up here and talk about what wellness is. Right? The irony. These are some quick, easy ways to do this. It's really about just making people feel like they belong. It's pretty simple. But when you do some of these things, it is going to set up your event for further success. And that is it. Please scan the QR code for a real-time survey.